Well, hey there, YouTube. It's Petey Two Finger. I thought I could go through some of the Christmas stuff. So my wife got me these Gemini GT100. These are UHF wireless. They recharge through the USB. Oh, and I've never had a wireless setup. I did try it out, and me likey. That's really cool. Really cool, and it's long overdue. So my younger brother gave me a 3-pack of these triple mode 18650. Yeah, 3 of them. And they came with the batteries fully charged. So I will definitely be wearing those. My dear pal, Heavy Metal ATC, aka Clementine, gave me a Pig Hog tartan plaid vintage instrument cable, a 20. And so when the battery runs out on the wireless, and then this is the packaging for the lights. I got 3 of these. Tactical grade headlamp, rechargeable, 3X 18650, 215 lumens, 1.2 hours on a single battery. So we got the Frank Zappa book, Conversations with Frank Zappa, 1977 to 1973. This book is an authentic read into the many character dimensions of Frank Zappa's music and perspectives. When a person has had a sincere interest in an artist, it is felt by the artist, and as such, the artist can feel more open in discussing their process of creation and opinions. Not that Frank ever had an issue with speaking freely, but whenever he was interviewed by Co., Frank's interviews always seemed to be more engaging. The fact that Frank and Co. had developed a warm friendship throughout the years is evident in the gravity of their exchanges. With this book, the Zappa fan will get a glimpse into a Frank that I don't believe any other book written by him or about him can express. And us Zappa fans love that. Thank you, Co. Steve Vai wrote that. This book is somewhat analogous to a documentary movie for your brain. The details that unfold are sourced from authentic recordings and interviews over the period of more than 20 years. Whether my father is expressing his views in religion or politics, as well as his opinions of their ill-advised enmeshment, or his bleak opinion about some of his former employees playing his music in public, he gives it to you straight. Well, he gave it to Co, and now Co is giving it to you, Dweezil. So I had seen a YouTube video with Co and enjoyed that, and he was talking about this book, and then I heard how great the book is, and I mentioned it to my wife, and she grabbed it for me. So now I'm getting backed up. I've got my Nick Mason, what is it, Inside Out. Nick Mason wrote a book about being in Pink Floyd, and I've got to read that. I've got the Frank and Co., and I've got Crazy Kraut. So my reading schedule is booked. Also, I'm going to be trying to go quick because I've got a lot to cover. We are going to be looking at the Yamaha JR1 or FG1 junior 3/4 size acoustic guitar. Years ago, I had played a half-size acoustic guitar, and I fell in love with it. So this is a well-made children's or beginner guitar because of its size. It's a Yamaha. It's not really a piece of junk. It stays in tune. It's made with quality materials. I mean, up to what you could say about a mass-produced guitar in the range of $160. So I had been looking to obtain one of these, and they're pretty well reviewed guitars. Like, people seem to like these. And let's go over on, so it's about 100 for a used one in good condition. And see, it's got that FG Junior, that red label natural. Now, the string spacing is what I would call narrow. It's kitty spacing, which if you could just for 1 second try to put yourself in my shoes and realize that being only able to play with my index and my pinky, having string spacing tight on an acoustic guitar would be a plus for me. So it is what it is, and I've played these half-size acoustic guitars before, and I just fell in love with them. They sound okay. They don't, like when you hear it, you don't immediately go, "Ooh, that's a small guitar, isn't it?" But it is a different timbre. So right now I have a Washburn, like Dreadnought style acoustic guitar that I purchased in the 90s. That is like my acoustic, and I like that guitar. It's in the bedroom. I got a Carlo Robelli that's a little bigger and a little boxier. It's a wider guitar, and it has a built-in preamp with a piezo pickup in the bridge, and it has a 1/4-inch output jack with a 9-volt. So that's okay for recording. I will tend to get a condenser mic or a couple condenser mics, and I'll blend all of that together between the pickup input and a mic going through a tube preamp. That's how I tend to record the acoustic guitar. And I've never gotten an acoustic guitar sound on recording that I was really pleased with. I had an Epiphone 12-string acoustic that the headstock rack. That, man, I wish I had that guitar. That's the one that I don't have anymore. Like almost all of my stuff I still have, the exception of my first Les Paul that warped. So yeah, I had this hole in my guitar heart for a long time to have a miniature acoustic guitar of reasonable quality. Like, I don't need a Baby Taylor, although I would like a Baby Martin or whatever they are. Like, I think it's like $800 for that. So if somebody wants to hook me up, I earned it. I really did. But in the meantime, we paid just over $50 with the shipping for my Yamaha FG1, is it? And I'm thrilled about that. I really cannot wait. Now, one more thing I wanted to talk about is the Zoom line. I have a bunch of Zoom stuff here, and they all use the same models, which is interesting. The Zoom G3. I have the Zoom g1on, which looks like this. We have a Zoom b1on, which looks like that. We have a Zoom b2 that's here in our practice space. We have that one with some custom patches that my wife uses. But specifically, the G1on and the Zoom G3. Now, there's a G3N, and then there's just the G3. I have a G3 that I used for years, and it's 6 at once, and I really like the sound of this. I made some custom patches for it. That's pretty much my guitar sound for years. So what you're hearing is the G3 or the G1. It's the same models. Like here you see this MS or Marshall Crunch amplifier, the Univibe, and a fuzz face. I made all kinds of patches for this, custom patches, and I got to tell you, I really love the sounds of the Zoom units, and they share the same models. Now something right now, I have my G1 hooked up, and so there's a USB cable connecting in, and you can see these are the stock effects that come with the G1. This is the dynamics section. This is the filter section. These are the dirt boxes, and these are the amplifiers, modulation, special effects, delay, and reverb. Now, what this software enables me to do is load in whatever effect I choose from all of these zooms. So if we go back up, well, that was only one line. Now we have two, and it's more than doubled. So we have the 160, we have the rack comp, gray comp, dual comp, dirty gate, orange squeezer, optical comp, noise gate. We got a limiter, slow attack, and then the zoom noise reduction. All these auto wah filters, bass EQs, there's bass effects in here, comb filter, line selector, parametric, resonance. Ooh, I cannot wait to try that. Slow filter, Z-Tron, our drives. This is the Mesa Boogie Grid Slammer, Mesa Boogie Throttle Box, Klon Centaur, Big Muff, Distortion Plus. Man, I put the Distortion Plus on with a Marshall amp, and it sounded exactly like the Sex Pistols' Steve Jones tone. And my younger brother heard it, and he said when that came on, I thought it was the album. And I said, well, yeah, that's interesting, because I'm using this gear that models that stuff. Metal Zone, this is a tube drive. That's a Zoom 9002 distortion. NYC Muff, Octafuzz. The overdrive is excellent. This is a tone bender, a couple of tube screamers. We got a Rat Sweet drive. Sweet sounding drive. And I don't know what that is. Red box, that's an M Audio crunch box. Use that to get the brown sound. This is the MP1. That was an ADA tube preamp. It was a rack mount preamp that was popular in the 80s. And man, I gotta tell you, if you use this Z MP1 with this alien amp, you will get a high gain guitar tone like nothing you've ever heard, and it is a really unique and wonderful tone that caused me to begin writing in a style that I miss. These are the amps. There's a Car Mercury, Matchless, High Watt, Vibrochamp, Fender Combo, Diesel, Deluxe Reverb, 59 Marshall, Crunch Marshall, Drive Marshall. The Revo is a ultra high gain Crank Revolution Plus. Orange Tangerine amp is awesome. I really like that. I love the Fenders in here. I don't care for the Voxes. Well, the Vox Jimmy I don't like. The Vox Combo sounds good. The Two Rock I'm not a fan of, or the Blues Breaker. Everything else I really like in here. Keep in mind this is a little bit older. It's not, this is old modeling. So it's not the quality that you're going to get with a new XMG30, but it certainly is doable. And what's more neat about this is the effects than the amp sims. So I might very well do something unusual and cut out all of the amps except for just a few that I really like, and fill this up with effects and run it in the effects loop of my new XMG30, because there's all of this incredible stuff. Look at all the bass amps, like the MXR chorus, Small Stone, CE1, CE5, bass flanger, velocity sensitive chorus, couple of versions of the Corona Tri-Chorus, Detune Duo Phase is a little bit much. Duo Trem, Dynaflanger, Frank Zappa's covered a Dynaflange effect. You won't find that too many other places. As far as I know, this is it. A Mojo Roller, what is that? Modulates the pitch after picking. Mirage Chorus, we got an old ADA flanger, or is it MXR? They're the same thing. Octave phaser, pitch shifts, ring modulator, silky chorus, slicer vibrato tremolo, Univibe is awesome. Stone phaser is a small stone stereo chorus, vintage flanger, vintage chorus, and the warp O phase was not for me. All kinds of synth stuff in here, bit crushing. The bomber goes, and it's ridiculous. Just remove that. The rotary closet is really worth your time. We have all kinds of synths. Taco synth, V synth, vintage bass synthesizer. Z organ, that's like, what do you call that thing? Pog? It's on everybody's board. Z syn. It's another bass synth. Auto pan delay, analog delay, carbon copy. They got in trouble for that. So it's not in the G3, it's only in the G1. Drive echo is a tube echo, and it's a Line 6 M9 model. So if they're stealing models from other companies, they're probably really good models. Dual digital delay, modulation delay, lo-fi delay lets you play with the bit rate and sampling rate parameters. Ice delay is more likely a pitch shifter delay. Filter PPD, time factor filter Pong. Ooh, that sounds like fun. I love their filter delay. You get a kind of a phase shifty sound only on the echo repeats, and it leaves your clean tone unmolested. So that filter delay, I use it with a single repeat to do the Eddie Van Halen phaser trick, and it leaves your clean tone unmolested. That's what I use with that MP1 and the Alien. I have the filter delay in there. Dynamic delay based off your picking response, modulation delay, multi-tap phase, pitch delay, reverse delay is awesome. You can control that with the mix with your expression pedal, which is really fun, so much fun. A couple of tape echoes, which are useful and sound fantastic. A little stop delay, what's that based on? Oh, you can make it self-oscillate. How do you like that? Stereo, if this is a pair of delays, and the smooth delay, Boss DD20 in smooth mode, slow attack, line 6 auto volume echo. Ooh, I'm going to try that. Trem delay, trigger hold delay. The trigger hold delay is really cool. Sample and holes using picking as the trigger. And we used to play a song which used this, which has that stutter effect. And you can tweak it, and man, it was so much fun to play with that and play that song. The air reverb I absolutely love. All of these reverbs are great. I've never tried the chamber or the church. Some of them, echo. Early reflection, dynamic dual HD hall. Like the HD stuff uses up more of your processing power, but it sounds a little richer. The flurb, that's a flanging model from the Holy Grail. And I've heard no one uses the flurb. But I like affected reverb. I really do. Affected delays and affected reverbs where it's at. Lo-fi. TC Hall of Fame, Mangled Space, Slapback, Shimmer Verb, The Room. I use the Air. It's better than The Room. Reverse Reverb. I cannot wait to try this RV7 Lexicon. Always use the plate. The Particle Reverb is incredible. The Particle Reverb is worth, like, if you're on the fence, if you haven't been convinced that you need to find one of these yet, the Particle Reverb is the coolest thing you've never tried. It's based on the Line 6 M9 Particle Reverb. And if you want a demo, you can type Particle Reverb into my search bar. And I have a video where I play some Adrian Belew music where he used something. He probably used the Line 6 M9 Particle Verb. Space Black Hole algorithm from Eventide. Now, their Spring Reverb is fantastic. I've only tried the Spring Reverb today for a second, but the Spring 63, that's a tube model Fender reverb unit that was sold as an accessory for the amplifier. So it's like, it almost looks like an amp head. It's a little box that surf guys have, and it's the ultimate. That's that Spring Reverb sound that you hear. And this thing emulates it. I cannot tell you like how many times I've seen Spring Reverb on a pedal or a multi-effector and just been like, oh my God, they have Spring Reverb, like excitedly set it to that setting and then hit an A and palmed it to just have my heart drop into my soles of my shoes. Not the case. The spring reverb. And hey, who's that guy? The big orange guy with the giant beard and the carrot nose? He looks like Squidward from SpongeBob. He's 60 cycle. 60 cycle. I'm talking to you. You keep complaining about digital all the time, but you've never played the Zoom Spring 63 model. I challenge you to man up with your Does It Drip challenge and actually play the only one that does. Tried this model today and I was not disappointed. Tremolo reverb, we've got the pedal stuff, which would only really work in my G3 because that has expression pedal jack. The G1 does not. Now the G1, oh, pedal reso, are you kidding me? Monophonic pedal pitch. Crybaby, VXY, pitch shifter. Yeah. So what's cool about this is if you've had your G1 for a while and you don't use it anymore, you could break it out and get all these, I believe it's 40 new effects. I keep seeing that number. Now all of these aren't going to fit in there. You're going to have to sacrifice some. So I went through and filled it up today to 100% and transferred that over. You basically, you put your, you have a USB cable and there's 4 directional, there's a D-pad on the right. You hold down the up and the down D-pad and then plug it in and it will go into firmware update mode. And that's where you can use that software to just X out what you want and blast over all new effects. So I'm going to be using that to make some patches, and I very well may use this on recording. I've recorded 2 brand new pieces of music that need some guitar. But if you watched the video from earlier today, you know that I'm not feeling very well. And so I need to take a break. It was 2 days of making computer music, and I don't think I'm going to do anything today. I'm going to eat, and I'm going to go to sleep. So I'm anxiously awaiting my wife to come home because I need some special attention. I feel horrible, absolutely horrible. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to feeling better. I can't believe that I got COVID again. So if you want to learn more about that, you can watch the video that I'm uploading right now, which is called "It's All Clear, COVID is Gone." You can take a look at that video and learn a bit more about my opinion on this sort of thing. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully I'll be feeling well enough. It's like 3 days out, New Year's Eve. Fetters is Cheap is going to be on, which is a live stream. Rob Fetters, one of my favorite guitar players in the world, is going to be live streaming, and we've got a special dinner planned. We've got some Wagyu beef that I've never tried. So we're going to have some Wagyu burgers and usher in the new year, and I am really excited about that. You guys, thank you so much for joining me on this one. Try to be smart, try to stay safe, try to keep healthy. That means wear your mask, wash up, don't expose yourself to groups of human beings any more than you need to. And when you get home, wash up. The most important one has been and always will be that you hug your pets, especially if it's a cat. Cats need that physical affection. They'll act like they don't want any part of that, but you got to give them a little attention because they need it. If you got a dog, well, your job is done. Dogs are pretty easy. Cats, a little bit more challenging. Cats will teach you patience. Cats will teach you true meaning of love. I got to tell you, we lost a cat in 2018, and I took it worse than losing my mom. My mom died in July of last year, and I miss her. I love my mom. I mean, she's my mom. What am I going to say? Was she the best one out there? No, not by a stretch. I'm not going to pretend or saint her because of her religious convictions. I'm not going to go, oh, she was this, walked on water. I'm not gonna do that because she was not without fault. She was a human being. She was deeply flawed, and it just like comes to me like I'm supposed to feel guilty that losing Augustus, my cat, my best friend, broke my heart in a way that I haven't gotten over it. I'm like, is it that I haven't even processed losing my mom yet, or is it that was just in its time? Is it because I got to say goodbye to her 3 times? There was a bunch of close calls with her in hospice. I don't know. Is it that animal loved me and my mother didn't? That's the answer that I'm looking at. But there was something real there. And they say it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. So I've got that going for me, which is nice. All right, you guys, I'm going to go find Kita, and I can maybe give him a little huggy. So when I say hug your pets, I mean it. They're not here forever. And when you've lost one like that, it's just something that I'm never gonna be over that. You know what I mean? You can't really fault me for it. You know? Hug your pets. That's all I ask. Maybe a little treat. That helps too. Brush them out. If it's a medium to long hair cat, brush them out every other day. That's all. All right, you guys. Peace.